Hi there. Are you ready to make your Zoom presence even smoother? This week, with Tech Talks by George and District 84 Toastmasters, we're going to discuss the hotkeys that are available within the Zoom program. Now, you're probably thinking, or at least some of you are probably thinking, well, what's a hotkey? Well, hotkey is where you can press one key to replace maybe pressing a couple other keys or a mouse movement. Instead, you hit a key. Well, there's happens to be 22 of them available in Zoom. What we're going to do is maybe discuss 6 or 7. So let's get into it to see how we can use Zoom to make us better online Toastmasters. The first key I would like to talk about is the Alt key. And the Alt key is going to be the foundation key for us. As we talk about all the other hotkeys that are available to us, the Alt key is going to play a major role. Let me show you the Alt key all by itself and what it can do for us. When I hit the Alt key, you can see my screen react. And what it's doing is it's right now, see it enlarged the screen, but it also hid the control panel down at the bottom. Sometimes you might find that control panel distracting. I do sometimes. If I hit that Alt key, the screen gets bigger, and if you need to get to the Alt key quickly, or the control panel quickly, you just hit the Alt key again, and you're there. All right, sometimes we need to get a drink of water and maybe eat that sandwich that's been tempting us over here on the side of the computer. I think you might agree that it is not exactly proper to eat online. What we can do is hit the Alt V, as in or Alt Video, and we can hide our video while we finish that sandwich up. And then we're all done with it. And then when we're all done with that sandwich, we can turn our video back on. And we're ready to go again. And no one will never know that you just finished a good sandwich. The next key I would like to discuss is a very important key, and that is the Alt A. You say, well, what's Alt A? It's the mute button. Just by using the Alt A button, I can mute as quickly as that. I hold the Alt key down, hit the A, and I'm able to mute and unmute myself, and you can too. What that means for us, though, is many times you may have to, somebody will say, George, you're muted. What happens is that you have to wake your mouse up and you move your mouse all around just to get it going. And then you have to find the mute button over on the other side, over on the left side. And so sometimes you struggle trying to get this going. But the Alt A, boom, you're right there right now. It'll give a better appearance on your presence online, right there. All right, the next one, and this happens to me all the time, every time, in fact. When I'm first joining Zoom, when I get here, I have a small screen. Well, one of the Zoom hotkeys is the Alt F, as in full screen. When I hit that, then I come right back up to full screen, and I am ready to go. Next key I'd like to discuss is Alt H. Look what happens when I hit Alt H. The chat box jumps up. Sometimes we want to check the chat box. Take a quick look at it and then close it again. So Alt H and Alt H opens and closes the chat box. Now the same goes for the participant box. If you do Alt U, the participant box jumps up, and then Alt U again will shut it back down. Very easy to do, very easy. One last one I want to share with you, and that's the Alt Y key. And the Alt Y key is you want to raise your hand. The Alt-Y key is when you want to raise your hand. So Alt-Y, and you see over in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, you can see the raised hand. Then Alt-Y again will lower that hand. Easy as that. But we're not done yet. I want to share with you one other thing, and that is where to find all of these hotkeys on the Zoom platform. And that is going to be down here by the stop video button or the up arrow button. We'll choose that. And then we'll click on video settings. Down here, you'll see almost at the bottom, it says keyboard shortcuts. Well, here are all the Zoom settings. All the way up and down. But here's the one I'm going to show you, and that's the Alt-I. So I reassign the mute buttons. Instead of Alt-A, I can click on it, erase Alt-A, and I'm going to put in the minus key, which happens to be right next to the edge of my keyboard. So now I have just changed my hotkeys of Alt-A for muting and unmuting to just the minus button that I can click on even quicker. One other thing I want to point out to you is I'm going to enable global shortcuts on this mute button. Here's why. Sometimes I might be prepping my PowerPoint presentation just seconds before my speech starts. And someone will ask me a question like, George, what's the title of your speech? Or something like that. And I very quickly need to unmute, but I'm over in PowerPoint. Well, this is a global shortcut, which allows me to use Zoom keys when I'm not in Zoom. I can be over in the other platform, PowerPoint in this case, and I can mute or unmute myself just by clicking that one button very quickly. It's a great use of all of these keys. It makes for a more, as I said earlier, a better presence online and better presentations online. Try these keys, learn some of these keys, use some shortcuts, or even modify these shortcuts. And I believe that your online Toastmastering will be even better.